London, 1942. The world is at war. Streets are dark, silent, and tense. And in the middle of the chaos, a shadow stalks the alleys. A man who would later be known as the Blackout Ripper. This is the terrifying true story of Gordon Frederick Cummins, a serial killer who used the cover of wartime blackouts to commit horrific murders. A story lost in the noise of war, but unforgettable to those who survived it. World War II raged across Europe. London was under threat. To protect the city from aerial bombings, mandatory blackouts were enforced. Streetlights were dimmed, homes were dark, and shadows stretched for blocks. For most Londoners, it was a time of fear. Fear of the enemy in the skies. But few knew there was another threat, one who walked the streets. Gordon Cummins, a 27-year-old Royal Air Force airman, used this opportunity to hunt. Under the mask of war, his spree of violence began. Born in 1914 in Yorkshire, Cummins had a seemingly normal upbringing, but by his early 20s, strange behavior began to surface. Narcissism, obsession with status, and a fascination with power. He moved frequently, lied about his background, and presented himself as wealthy and elite. Behind the charm was a fractured mind. Friends would later recall a man who changed his personality often, from gentleman to monster, in minutes. He was known to be manipulative, even sadistic in his treatment of women. There were whispers of dark fantasies and bizarre late-night behavior even before the murders began. His time in the RAF gave him access, freedom, and mobility, and he used all of it. On February 8, 1942, the body of Evelyn Oatley, a 34-year-old actress and sex worker, was found in her Soho flat. She had been strangled and mutilated with a razor blade. Her body bore multiple injuries, many of which were inflicted post-mortem. Police were horrified, not just by the violence, but the precision. It seemed surgical, deliberate. The killer had left behind a gas mask bearing an RAF serial number, the first real clue. Evelyn's murder stunned even hardened investigators. The brutality suggested this wasn't his first act of violence, just the first known. In just 6 days, 4 women were brutally murdered. Margaret Florence Lowe, a 43-year-old widow; Doris Joannet, 32nd; Evelyn Hamilton, a pharmacist. Each woman was strangled, mutilated, and violated. Tools used in the attacks included razors, can openers, and broken bottles. The crime scenes were chaotic but eerily similar, suggesting a ritual, a pattern, a compulsion. 2 others survived. One of them, Greta Hayward, managed to fight off her attacker in a narrow alley. She later described a charming man in uniform who turned violent with frightening speed. The press dubbed him the Blackout Ripper. Londoners locked their doors. Women avoided walking alone after dark, but fear couldn't stop him. It was Greta Hayward's narrow escape that would change everything. During the attack, Cummins dropped a fountain pen engraved with his name. The pen, recovered by police, traced back to his RAF barracks. When officers searched his belongings, they found shocking trophies: lipstick cases, compact mirrors, torn stockings, all items stolen from the victims. One particularly haunting discovery was Evelyn Oatley's wedding ring, still crusted with dried blood. Gordon Cummins was arrested on February 24th. At first, he denied everything. Then he smiled. The interrogation revealed a man with no remorse. Cummins spoke with cold detachment. When shown photographs of the victims, he remained eerily calm. Psychiatrists were brought in, but no mental illness could be proven, at least none that excused his crimes. In court, the evidence was damning. Eyewitnesses, recovered items, and forensic details linked him to each crime. Still, he denied every charge. The jury deliberated for just 35 minutes. He was sentenced to death. His appeal was denied. On June 25, 1942, Gordon Cummins was hanged at Wandsworth Prison. He was 28 years old. The city of London moved on. It had to. Bombs continued to fall. Lives were rebuilt. But those who lived through the week of terror never forgot the name Blackout Ripper. The police reports, still preserved, reveal haunting details not shared with the public. Notes about how Cummins posed his victims, how he may have stalked others, how, had Greta not escaped, the killing spree could have continued for weeks. To this day, many believe Cummins killed more women, before and during the blackout. The war gave him cover. The shadows gave him power, and history, preoccupied with Hitler and battles, nearly forgot him. But evil like his leaves a stain. When the lights go out, the monsters don't vanish, they thrive. Lock your windows, stay off the streets, and remember, the scariest darkness is not the one outside, it's the one hiding inside someone who looks just like you.